Let's go to the next story. You want to do Megan Fox? You want to do Bill Burr? What story do you want? You tell me what story you
How
want.
about the
Megan
Olympics?
Fox,
We teased that one.
You want to do the sex one? Okay, let's do the anti-sex bets in the Olympic Village. A social media theory is soon debunked. Okay, page 5 if you want to go to this. So, Kai, you want to pull up that video where the kid jumps on the bed? So, anti-sex bets in the Olympic Village. A social media theory is soon debunked. The New York Times. Competitors arriving at the Tokyo Olympics have discovered something unusual about the beds in the athletes' village. They're made out of cardboard. Organizers say it's the first time that the beds at the games will be made almost entirely out of renewable materials. But in the time of the coronavirus, when Olympic organizers worried about transmissions are trying to discourage close contact as much as possible, the unusual bed frames have led some to suggest there's another motive behind them. Paul Colimo, an American distance runner, speculated on Twitter that the beds were unable to support more than one person and were aimed at avoiding intimacy amongst athletes. Soon the beds were being labeled on social media as anti-sex. Ryan McClengan, a gymnast from Ireland, called the claim fake news. A video he posted on Twitter showed him jumping on top of his bed, demonstrated that it could withstand vigorous activity. The official Olympics Twitter account reposted his video, adding, "Thanks for debunking the myth." Here's a video.
In today's episode of Fake News at the Olympic Games, the beds are meant to be anti-sex. They're made out of cardboard, yes, but apparently they're meant to break at any sudden movements. It's fake. Fake news.
News.
He's a gymnast. He only weighs 15 pounds. I mean, come on. By the way, is Brandy Love an alternate on any of the Olympic teams? She might just show up out there. You know, like these guys wouldn't be able to figure out to throw that mattress on the ground, right? But, you know, sex is such a big deal at the Olympics. They hand out condoms, right? You know that's always a big story. 160,000 they've handed out in Japan, and the record is, what, 450,000 that they did in Rio? It would be interesting to find out what really does go on in those Olympic villages. I mean, that's a lot of condoms.
What are you saying?
I'm saying like there's a lot of sex that goes on in there.
Are you saying like if an Olympic athlete had an OnlyFans channel showing in their bedroom, like they would get millions of people that would buy? Is that kind of what you're? Are you saying the business model?
I'm saying it would be fascinating to learn. I mean, they got a lot of downtime. They're all athletic, a lot of hormones. A lot of them are very, very attractive. I mean, you can see it makes sense, but you don't associate that with the Olympics. But it's clearly going on in a very, very big way. It's a lot of condoms.
I'd look at that and I would say challenge accepted, boy. Like, let's bust some boxes, baby. You know, imagine the sumo wrestlers that got to sleep on some cardboard out there, bro. I look at that and I'm like, man, forget sex. That doesn't have the structural integrity for my lumbar, man. Like, first of all, who's still having sex on beds? This is 2020. Grow up, people. Like, you know, you got to find some exciting things to do here, bro.
So you're saying it's fake news?
You're gonna find them on the counter? It wasn't me. You even saw me on the sofa.
I think it totally makes sense.
She called me in the shower.
There would be a way for them to try to take any sort of fun and enjoyment out of life, and I can see the initial reaction as that's what they were doing, but there's gravity. They'll be all right. They'll be fine.
Yeah, you're gonna stop. Yeah.
So you're not buying it.
You're gonna stop.
Nah, I don't think it's an anti-sex
Young, athletic, 25-year-olds.
Because it certainly wouldn't stop anybody because you just
take.
take it right off the bed. You throw the mattress on the ground.
Is that what you would do, Tom?
Yes, I'm an Olympic. I have a trained mind like an Olympian.
You know, look, I mean, where there's a will, there's a way, right? I mean, you know, we could problem solve this thing together. This is, I got to tell you, man. The dumb stuff that comes out of the Olympics, you figure they do this like every 2 years, right? There's a Winter Olympics, there's a Summer Olympics, and they just can't figure it out. Like everywhere they go, they leave a wake of destruction in all of these cities. Like they basically destroyed Brazil, right? Like they just destroyed the place.
Well, and even Beijing, they build all these venues and then they're never used again. Like how many times do you need a velodrome?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, what's your level of interest in watching the Olympics? They start this week. The opening ceremonies are Friday.
Well, listen, the other day I showed gymnastics to Dylan, and Dylan didn't let me change the channel.
Huh. Hey.
And it was women's gymnastics. I was so impressed by my son. It was one of those moments where I'm like, I'm proud of you, buddy.
Well, and then
he kept saying, leave it that. I want to see it.
And that's
the boy to watch
that's their marquee event, so that's good news for NBC. Has 7,000 hours of programming.
Oh boy,
it's a lot, man.
7,000.
7,000.
What do they pay for something like that? What's the number?
You know, their profit in the last Olympics was $250 million. I thought their profit would be a little bit higher. The rights fees are probably about $3 billion per Olympics, I would imagine.
Do the athletes get paid? It's amateur, isn't it?
No. They're paid now for sure. No, they could be professionals.
Not a big number though.
Yeah,
it's not a big number.
Is it sponsors? What makes it worth 4 years of training to swim 50 meters?
The elite or the gold medal. I mean,
Yeah.
The way Gerard said it, what is it worth me training 4 years to swim 50 meters?
That's a good point.
What is it worth? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's
cardboard beds. Are you serious? For the rest of your life.
Lifetime supply of cardboard bed
You
frames.
gonna be able to tell the story.
There'll be no money.
And this year,
You'll have
they
eternal
get,
consciousness.
and this
Okay.
year they get to put on their own medals as well.
Oh, nice.
So they're not waiting for anyone to put
Hey, look,
on.
Is that right?
You
Yeah.
know, I'm not a look. I feel, then this kind of goes against my entirety of personal choice and freedom on this.
Here we go.
I gotta tell you, the people that don't want to stand for the anthem, like, why are you representing your country? I don't get that, man. To me, that's the easiest opt out in the world.
Yeah, the IOC said they're going to punish them if they do it. We'll see, because what's going to happen. I mean, these protests are already being formulated in the minds of some of these athletes.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Listen, I look forward to watching the World Cup, Olympics. There's a few events I actually like.
So if you enjoyed this little segment from the podcast, click over here to watch the entire podcast. And if you've not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Take care, everybody.